Hey guys, and welcome to the first video of my channel. I'm just going to start it off quite simply with how you can get better at Rainbow Six Siege, and explaining how I got better and progressed as a player from a low silver to a high gold to low to mid platinum player. So just going to be running through the couple of things that are going to be in this video. I'm going to list them down in the description, so if you have something specific you want to progress on, you can skip to that part of the video down in the description. So just going to list them right now. So we've got your mouse sensitivity, what DPI and sensitivity you should be using in-game, your setup, what kind of people you should be playing with, your playstyle, Terrace Time, which will be a relatively big subject, but I'll try to compress it down as best as I can. Learning each individual map with each individual room and stuff like that, and learning callouts, when you shouldn't play the game, what guns on each individual operator you should be using, and learning new skills such as quick peeking, and how you can try and relax in a tense situation such as a 1v1 or a 1v however many enemies are left on the other team. So this could most definitely work on console and on PC, but it will be more directed to PC players as I do play on PC. So yeah, let's get straight into it.
So, sensitivity. It's a very big thing in any first-person shooter, and it's custom to you. So I personally play with a very high sensitivity, and I know lots and lots of other people who choose to have a low sensitivity. And that's not something that's a bad thing or a good thing, but it's something that you all have, and it's something that you'll choose to yourself. So by then choosing somebody else's sensitivity for your gameplay, it just won't work, and it just won't improve your gameplay. So I know lots of people who have started the game and decided to then choose a pro player's sensitivity because they think, oh, they're so good, right? Then if I use their sensitivity, I'll be able to aim like them, but that's not how it works. If I was to choose a pro player's sensitivity to start the game, I probably would have then adapted to that, but it's not how I would have played at my best, I don't think, because now I play, like I said, at a very high sensitivity, and you've just got to find what's right for you. So when we talk about setup, we're mostly talking about the hardware of your PC, but there's also how you position yourself with your keyboard and mouse. And I highly recommend getting a oversized mouse mat which goes underneath your keyboard, and it just gives me so much more space to move around and get comfortable with my mouse. I found when I used a normal mouse mat, which was quite small, well, now it's quite small, it was just awkward to use, and it would always slip around. So you've got to find one that's right for you. I highly recommend an oversized mouse mat. But when we talk about hardware of your PC, that's something which is obviously going to cost a little bit more money, and if you can't afford a good graphics card, that's fine. Like, graphics is not the biggest thing about gaming. Yes, it's a plus, but it's not always talking about if you're going to win the game or not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that much. But with CPU, CPU is going to give you a high frame rate, and it's going to give you something that you'll actually be able to see the game properly like you would in real life. So you need a decent CPU to run the game, but it's all of these aspects are going to cost money, and it's gaming isn't really cheap. So yeah. Moving on, we're going to talk about who to play with and when. So if you want to get better at the game, yes, you're probably going to want to play with people who are good at the game, and that makes sense, right? You want to get better, you want to play with people who are good so that you can progress, right? But doing that over and over again, playing very, very competitively, is just going to deteriorate your gameplay. Not as in you're going to get worse, but you are going to stop enjoying the game for what it is. And it is a game, and you've just got to realize that and not, you know, take it too seriously to the point where it doesn't become fun anymore. And I got to that point where I was playing too competitively with people who were very good, and it wasn't fun anymore. So I went back to playing with friends that I actually knew, and it just became so much better, and I wanted to play the game more. And once you've got to that point of, oh, I don't really like this game anymore, I'm kind of bored, this is not very fun anymore, that is when you realize that you're playing way too competitively and you're not actually playing for fun, you're playing to win, and it's just a game. And this comes across, I think, everywhere when you're playing games. It doesn't matter. And yes, there is a game and there is competitive modes, and that is when you become competitive and play to win, and I understand that. But when you are playing ranked, yes, take it seriously, don't really mess around that much, but also have that kind of level of having fun and playing competitively. Otherwise, like I said, the game will just become boring and you won't want to play anymore. So with Playstyle, that's going to be up to you of how you play in Rainbow Six, and that's going to kind of relatively consist of two main classes, which are DPS and support. And DPS is people who will roam around the map on defense and try and just get kills, like Kavira, Jaeger, and people like that, kind of 3 speeds often. And on support, you'll have people like Doc, Rook, Montaigne. Those are the kind of people who will play on site and will most of the time just try and stay alive, and Monty will just try and get the plant down. If you're playing Doc, you're just trying to deny that plant, trying to hold the enemy away. So when we talk about Terrace Time, you know, it's just trying to kill some time, right? That's what you would kind of expect of people who play Terrace Time. You just want to, you know, you're waiting for your friend, you're just going to play some Terrace Time. But I have spent around 60 hours playing Terrace Hunt for the reason of trying to get better, and I know lots of professional players will have hundreds of hours on Terrace Hunt whilst they have thousands and thousands of hours on PvP. But Terrace Hunt is super good for trying to get better, right? So the way I played Terrace Hunt was not to win, and that's what you do not want to try and get into, that phase of trying to win Terrace Hunt, because it doesn't matter. Terrace Hunt is just the training of just you, so you just want to try and get better, and I would spend all of my time just trying to get headshots or one taps, just trying to improve my aim and my game sense. Terrace Hunt is really easy for learning new skills, which I'm going to explain later on, but yeah, so Terrace Hunt is quite big and a very important aspect of the game. So trying to learn every single map and trying to learn every single room in every single map is just never going to work. You're not going to be able to just recall that, and learning every call out is going to be really hard as well. So you've kind of got to prioritize the map's rooms. So the bomb sites of each map, you know, kind of the important rooms such as like hallways or rooms that often have players in them, so you can give the call outs to your friends and they can get the kill if you're already dead or if they're in that area. So with operators that you want to play and the guns on those operators that you want to use, that's going to be kind of up to you, but I'm just going to recommend that you use their best guns instead of just, you know, messing around with it. So if you want to play Sledge, which is what I'm doing right now, I'm using the SMG-11, which I spent a lot of time trying to learn how that recoil pattern works, and I spent a couple months maybe just playing Terrace Hunt, just in my free time, just using the SMG-11 instead of using the other guns, so I could get better with it, because it is such a good weapon. But you've just got to realize how the recoil pattern works, and it's the same with Buck. Buck's gun is what I'd say the best gun in the game, but its recoil will obviously bring it down, and you just want to learn that recoil pattern and then use Buck and the SMG-11 to its full potential, because they are so good. So when we are talking about learning new skills such as quick peeking, that is going to take you a while, but if you adapt quickly, it shouldn't take you too long. So learning the quick peek, which is where you peek around a corner quickly so that the enemy can't shoot you, but you can kind of see where they are. And this is a really big thing in high elo lobbies, not so high, but platinum lobbies, maybe high gold lobbies. This will be something that you'll see a lot, where you use the Q or the E key as well as your left or right. So if you're using E, if you're going to peek right, you would use E and D. If that's your peek right E, then that would make you go around the corner quickly, and you just want to move straight back to where you were. And this is quite big, and it's so helpful trying to learn this, and I think it's probably the biggest skill that you can learn to help your gameplay adapt. So when you're in that kind of situation where it's a 1v2 or 1v3 or 1v however many that there are left, you are going to feel that kind of like adrenaline that's in your heart, and afterwards your heart's going to be pumping very hard. And it took me a while to kind of calm down when I'm in those situations and not overthink it so that I stress out and start shaking, because you'll see that a lot if you're spectating somebody trying to clutch. You'll see sometimes they might be shaking a little bit because they are so nervous and they don't want to lose, and there's a lot going on and you're trying to process so much information. So by calming down, it will make you perform how you normally perform instead of maybe messing up a little bit because it's such a high intense situation. So I often found that when I played ranked, I didn't play very well because I was overthinking it way too much, and I just was too stressed out with it, and I just wouldn't play to my best ability. So I ended up thinking about it like queuing up into a casual instead of a ranked. So I would play the ranked game, but I'd make it feel like it was a casual game. So I'd do spawn peeks, I'd mess around a little bit more because, I don't need to try that hard because, I thought it was casual. So you've kind of got to find that point where you've got to learn to relax and, chill out.
Hey guys, that's it for today's video, but I will be releasing more videos now on my channel, and I am going to be streaming on Twitch as usual. But if you liked the video, maybe hit like. If you didn't like the video, hit dislike. And if you haven't already, subscribe and hit the bell. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.